Today, we are breaking down the 20 absolute best new cards hitting the format. Marvel Superheroes Commander decks are officially dropping, and while Wizards of the Coast wants you to buy them for the shiny comic book nostalgia, we're here for the raw strategic value. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the list. Kicking things off at number 20, Ancestral Communion. This card costs 2 mana to get 2 permanents back from your graveyard, which is a fantastic deal. There are plenty of self-milling strategies out there that will love this, as well as permanent heavy decks running minimal instants and sorceries. Nature's Spiral might be a little worse than Regrowth, but getting 2 of them as long as your commander is in play is a massive upgrade. At number 19, Crystal Inhuman Princess. This is a 3-mana mana dork tailored for 4 and 5 color decks that offers a decent amount of utility. Her real attraction comes from the extra burn damage she generates, making her a snap pickup if you are building Aragorn the Unifier, Ramos, Dragon Engine, or Niv Mizzet Reborn. Stat-wise, she's a 2/3 flyer, giving her enough survivability to jam into combat should the occasion call for it. Number 18, Arch Nemesis. This card encourages that uniquely fun aspect of Commander, the political shenanigans. When you play this, people will have to pay a tax just for swinging at you. They won't be paying a massive amount, but the opportunity to ham it up at the table means you'll be having a blast. It might not be the absolute strongest card in these precons, but it will be a lot of fun. Coming in at number 17, Kang Dynasty. Kang Dynasty is designed to buy you a little breathing room. It will more than likely replace itself by drawing a card. If it doesn't, it forces your opponents to trade off their creatures while you comfortably sit back and prepare to buff one of yours. At number 16, King Solomon's Frogs. Cards like King Solomon's Frogs get a lot more interesting when you pair them with cards like Tataru Taru. While Smothering Tithes remains the ultimate way to punish opponents for drawing, several other powerful effects trigger when you give people cards. They are already a decent rate on their own, but when you can actively capitalize on gifting your opponent's resources, they won't know what hit them until it's too late. Plus, it's an artifact, meaning you can easily flicker it with Teleportation Circle to repeat the process. Number 15, Okoi, Mighty and Adored. I'm going to argue that Okoi is a lot more dangerous than she looks on the surface. Having double strike and trample more or less gives you the raw power to knock a player out of the game if you're running a Celestia counters deck. She reads as a pretty reasonable 4-drop, but she sets up perfectly to flat out assassinate whoever gets greedy enough to claim the crown. Moving to number 14, Willy Lumpkin, Postman. This is a cheap 2-mana creature that slots perfectly into a broad swath of Azorius control decks. If you've ever had to play against a deck like the Second Doctor, you already know that this exact kind of defensive effect is highly underrated. It is more than capable of buying you the exact amount of time you need to set up and win the game. Number 13, Panther Robot. Expect to see this card slot directly into any number of artifact decks, particularly the ones focused on free casting to enable infinite combos. Popular commanders like Tanuk and Alloy, Savior of Meridian, will absolutely love this thing. Usually, the affinity for artifacts creatures that you can cast for 0 mana aren't a massive 8/8 reach and trample threat, which makes this RoboKitty an absolute powerhouse. At number 12, Scarlet Witch, Chaotic Avenger. Scarlet Witch works perfectly with dedicated hero decks, but she functions just as well in a traditional Spellslinger shell. She will be a very fun option to lead your deck as a commander, especially since she scales with more and more cards in exile every single time she attacks. If you don't put her in the command zone, she is still an incredibly decent inclusion in the 99 of any Spellslinger build. And number 11, Everett K. Ross, Hapless Attaché. Slapping lifelink onto a 3-drop creature alongside a minor stat buff and card draw for when you get attacked makes for a highly efficient utility piece. Giving your commander lifelink is amazing in decks where you are attacking constantly, which is exactly why a card like Witch's Clinic is such a premium utility land. Number 10. Black Widow, Agile Avenger. Boros apparently just got its own version of Fairy Mastermind for 3 mana. Black Widow, Agile Avenger also grows larger whenever she triggers, which combines beautifully with Menace to provide a highly aggressive creature to attack with. I fully expect to see a lot of people slotting this one into red-white decks. Number 9. The Frightful Four. If you enjoy playing mechanics like the Lord of Pain or Magus, God of Slaughter, you are going to love this card. Punisher cards are a total blast to play, and the Frightful Four is an exceptionally good one. Having access to more of these punishing effects lower on the mana curve is going to make group slug decks a hell of a lot more frightening. Coming in at number 8, Living Laser. This is a highly exciting inclusion because it hands a legitimate win condition to dedicated wheel decks. You are going to get to make so many copies of this spell as you discard and draw, representing a staggering amount of burn damage. It's also incredibly attractive for commanders like Nerif, Heart of the Storm, since you'll be netting 8 damage off each individual laser. I reckon this card will completely fly under the radar for a hot minute until the wider community figures it out. Number 7. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Shang-Chi can grow into a massive, game-ending threat incredibly fast. The real peak gaming experience here comes from finding creative ways to repeatedly remove that 10th counter and add it back again. If you remember doing weird things to constantly trigger Inferno of the Star Mounts, you can now play that same game in Azorius with Shang-Chi. And at number 6, Loki's Scepter. 3 mana rocks always have to do something extra to justify their spot over a 2-drop, and this card fulfills that requirement perfectly. It vanishes the baseline standard by coming bundled with a Threaten effect, allowing you to steal the best creature on the board just for playing your mana rock. Is it better than Cursed Mirror? No. Is it still great? Absolutely. Number 5. Alicia Masters, Skilled Sculptor. Alicia Masters has all but completely usurped Relic Retriever as the new hotness for treasure generation. This is going to see widespread play in Spellslinger decks, but don't count it out for Voltron strategies either, where it can easily buy back your big threats if they happen to get removed. Number 4. Valeria Richards, Precocious. Valeria Richards gives you both cost reduction and raw card draw attached to a 3/3 body for just 4 mana. Combining those 2 mechanics on a single card is always a winning formula. While she might not be the flashiest or most exciting card in the set, she is exactly the kind of reliable workhorse that makes a deck shine. Number 3. Ant-Man, Elusive Avenger. Ant-Man, Elusive Avenger seems like a restrained design on the surface, but I can guarantee this will easily net you 4 to 7 treasures with very minimal investment. Cards like Old Gnawbone and the Reaver Cleaver see massive amounts of play for a reason. Having a 3-mana, virtually unblockable creature for Spellslinger decks that makes back way more mana than you spent to buff it is an absurd value proposition. Our runner-up at number 2, Jocasta, Automaton Avenger. Jocasta is a legendary artifact with evasion that serves as incredible discard fuel, and she loves to keep coming back for more. Because she smooths out operations so well, she is likely to show up in a massive variety of lists. Once again, it's not the flashiest card in the world, but it makes your deck run like clockwork. And finally, number 1, Molecule Man. Look at this guy. Molecule Man effectively gives you a free spell every single turn, provided the first card you draw isn't a land. It represents a potentially game-breaking amount of card and mana advantage for decks that can manipulate the top of their library, especially strategies that love to cantrip or draw cards on other players' turns. While it's a little less broken in the command zone due to the colorless color identity restrictions, it remains a completely absurd value engine for 6 mana. And that is the definitive top 20 list for the best Marvel superhero commander cards you should be tracking down immediately. Which of these are you buying first? Let me know down in the comments. Drop a like and subscribe for more Magic content, and we will see you in the next video.